Okay, sure. Are you streaming this room? All right. Thank you. Okay, give me a moment. All right. Okay. So without further ado, let me introduce myself. My name is Liwei. I'll be your single chair for this round. There's no other panelists. Before we begin, some ground rules for the round. Please do POI. POIs are encouraged, but do not badger for POIs. If you gave a POI and it's rejected, please wait for 20 seconds before you move on. Secondly, please do time yourselves. I will be timing you guys and I will put timestamps in the chat, but I do apologize in advance because I'll be taking notes as well. So my timestamps will not be the most accurate. So it's better if you guys time yourselves. Lastly, you may introduce yourself before your round, your preferred gender pronouns, preferred POI preference. If a POI preference is indicated, please do respect it. So if someone says verbal, please do respect it and use verbal POIs. So this is round 4. It will be a silent round. So after this round, you guys can immediately go back to the main hall and wait for the closing ceremony and breaks, right? So there will be no OAs for this round. Okay, so it's a silent round. Okay, so without further ado, let us invite to the floor Prime Minister.
Okay, I would like verbal POIs. And my time starts in 3, 2, 1. 4 points on framing. It is very immoral to kill animals for our own needs. Second, killing animals produce methane gases and carbon dioxide that harms the environment. 3, plant-based meat will cost a lot in the shorter term, but in the longer term, it will be very cheap. 4, plant-based meat will have enough nutrients and proteins. Also, meat will taste good and be good enough and be edible. Our site's general stance is that we are aiming to develop meat substitute and will highly support the development of it with money. Before moving on to our argued pieces of setup, meat substitute refers to alternative plant-based meat that is edible. Killing animals and have been harming the environment. Now, I would like to move on to my argument. My first argument is that it is very immoral to kill animals. First, the mechanism. It is absolutely immoral to kill an animal, which is life, and life is a gift for us, and it is very special. So not as much as human, but we need to protect their rights. Even in the current status quo, pets are not allowed to be harassed by humans. Then why cow, pigs, and chickens are not like that? Even they are also the same animals, and why are we killing them? Judge. What is the impact of this argument? The impact of this argument is that cows, pigs, and chickens are going to be killed by humans without knowing why. We care about us, but why not them? We're not human. They are not humans, but animals at least worth to not be killed. Third, our counterfactual. In our world, we prevent animals to be immorally killed, where side opposition prefers a world where animals are immorally killed and eaten as food. Judge, if killing a human or harassing a human is considered immoral, why is it animals? We need to stop this happening. Now, I would like to move on to my second argument, which is the benefit. My first the mechanism. First, plant-based meats are going to provide both nutrients that meat and plants have. Second, we are going to make the price affordable after the development is sufficient enough. Third, the meat substitute tastes good enough so it can like enoughly alter the ordinary meat. Second, in the impact. So what is the impact here? Why is this so important? First, eating the new and advanced meat, we can save time and shorten the eating time. This is very important because we can save our precious time. Second, the new meat has even more nutrients with because it makes us healthier. Now, now, if you have any POIs, I'm going to accept it in 3, 2, 1. If you don't have any, I'll just move on. To give a counterfactual, in government's world, everyone will be healthy because of the new meat we created, and which also reduces financial burden in the longer term. Opposition's world, everyone will kill animals and eat meats, and then they're going to spend a lot of money in eating and be very immoral by killing animals. Now, I would like to throw a burden to the opposition. In order for opposition to win, they need to prove why killing meats are so beneficial that they it, and even though it's very immoral, and we have a very good alternative of it. Because of our first argument and second argument, we are so incredibly proud to propose. 3 minutes 56 seconds. Oh, 57 seconds.
All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much
Judge.
to PM. Next up, I'd like to call to the floor. Hello, here.
I just had a question that um does the opposition have to say that that we would like to increase meat consumption rather than increasing the availability of meat substitutes?
I do not think I am supposed to answer any questions regarding the motion, so it's up to your discretion, and I will judge the round based on what both teams agree upon. So yeah, it's up to you guys to debate upon that. If I give you any advice, that will be against my role as a judge.
Okay, so my pronouns are he, him. I'll be taking verbal POIs, and I'll be starting in three. Just one second, just time myself. I'll be starting in 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, the house at large. The topic before us today is that this house, as an animal advocate, would aim to decrease meat consumption rather than increasing the availability of close meat substitutes. And I, Anitej, as the leader of opposition, with my fellow teammates, stand for the motion against the motion. The status quo is that meat is part of most cultures and diets, as it is one of the best sources of protein and nutrition. It has been a big part of many diets, as people consider it an essential part of a balanced diet, and has been very culturally important. Now I'd like to roadmap. The deputy leader of opposition will talk about how meat production harms the climate, and he will also elaborate on my points. And the opposition whip will elaborate on mine and the deputy leader's arguments. Moving on to my first argument, there are many cultures in the world whose traditions are very much meat based. Plant based meat substances that taste, feel, and cook like traditional meats allow people to continue practicing in their cultural practices while also staying true to their ethical or environmental values. It's not as much of a sacrifice but an adaptation. Social connections can be also maintained by introducing plant-based substitutes to meat. Many cultural and social events revolve around shared meat. So far, people who are trying to get down on the meat or reduce their meat eating, plant-based substitutes offer way better. A way of being able to participate in those communal events without feeling left out. As plant-based meat alternatives are becoming more readily available, the world is embracing them as a part of its traditional diet. For example, in India, where vegetarians is prevalent for cultural and religious purposes, companies such as Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods have customized their plant-based options to fit the local plate. Um, they have been designed product. They have designed products that closely resemble chicken or mutton. It means that plant-based substitutes provide an easier route through which a person can easily transition to ethical eating. At the same time, by ensuring that people maintain their cultural cuisines, this is more probable with cultures that uphold a strong culture of eating meat. As moving on to my second argument, as the popularity of plant-based meat products increases, the demand for them would increase across the board, leading to large scale production and competitive pricing. The increasing interest in plant based options could make retailers more shelf space to put out these products, making them even more accessible to consumers. As prices come down and availability increases, consumers from diverse income levels and backgrounds would have easier access to sustainable food choices. One of the primary and to solution we could organize education camps on the benefits of lower meat consumption for ethics, environment, and health. With that, I rest my case, but never my stance. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, the leader of opposition. Next up, I would like to call to the floor, DPM. Here.
Judge, am I visible and audible?
Yes, you're audible and visible.
I would like to accept verbal guidelines. My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Judge, fellow debaters, I am the second speaker of the proposition team. Before I move the final arguments of the proposition team, I would like to make some rebuttals against the opposition team. First of all, the leader of the opposition has said in his second argument that people would think that plant-based meat would be not delicious and people would not be adapted to it. However, this is not true. From what I know, there was once a mushroom shaped like chicken, and it was very successful because people actually thought it was very delicious, and and by using like those tricks, like or illusion, to trick these people, we can actually make people to adapt to those plant-based meat and make them like it. Now, I would like to move on to the second rebuttals. The leader of the opposition had said the meat is very healthy for people and it has important nutrients in the food. However, in our world, meat substitutes such as plant-based based meats are also very healthy for our body, including substances like protein. So it is very symmetrical. However, it is even better on our side because it is plants that we're eating, which is very, very, very nutritious. Now, with these in mind, I would like to move on to the final argument. The last argument of the proposition team is that it is very beneficial for the environment. First, I would like to explain the mechanisms. Destroying those meats is very bad for environments since it actually releases carbon dioxide in the air. For example, one of the main problems with air pollution is actually cows releasing carbon dioxide in the air. Because because of this, if we actually stop like butchering those cows, we can actually save our environment. Next, I would like to explain the impacts. First, since we save the environment by releasing less carbon dioxide, we will be able to stop all those bad things related to climate change, also known as global warming. This is a big impact for us because the world is globally impacted by the global warming because of like increased sea levels and stuff like that. Last, I would like to explain the counterfactuals. In the opposite world, people are eating meats because it also causes less to cut cows. The Prime Minister explained it is also healthy for our it is very healthy for us. However, in our world, we could also argue that by stopping to cut those meat, we are able to stop the environment, the people health, and so on. Judge, before I end my speech, I would like to challenge the opposition team. In order for the opposition team to win, they would have to prove how the advantage of butchering those like cows or sheep or like would benefit overall. Compared to those all the necessary advantage. Because of those strong points, we take this debate home. Thank you.
Wait, Judge, did
3 minutes.
did you hear his speech? Because I saw that he was lagging. Did you hear his?
Did you catch his entirety of his speech? Because I got everything. Are the opponents able
Okay.
to catch everything within the speech?
So not much. So his voice was continuously cracking for me.
It was just cracking towards the end, but it's fine, I think.
You guys are okay with proceeding?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So without further ado, let us invite to the floor Diallo. Here.
Okay, so I prefer verbal POIs. Yeah, in protected time, and my pronouns are he, him. The debate, my speech will last 4 minutes. So I'll start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everyone. Respected judge, jury, my fellow teammates, my worthy opponents, and the house at large. Today, the motion put before us is that this house, as an animal advocate, would aim to decrease consumption decrease consumption rather than increase the availability of meat substitutes. As the deputy leader of the opposition on the opposition side, me and my team stand strongly against the given motion. Now for the roadmap. First, I will be rebutting against the respected Deputy Prime Minister and the Prime Minister. Then I will be presenting my three main arguments. First of all, I think that the government side has got the motion all wrong. It says that this house, as an animal advocate, would aim to decrease consumption rather than increase the availability of meat substitutes. The government needs to prove why we need the government needs to prove why they should decrease consumption of meat. We need to prove why we should increase the availability of the meat substitutes. So in all of their arguments, they have only been defending our case. Now I shall present three more arguments to even further strengthen our case. First, we need to understand what meat production does to the environment. Climate change is a significant factor you need to consider with normal meat. Meat production leads to the emissions of many toxic gases, such as methane. It also leads to deforestation and water wastage. Large areas of forest are cleared yearly to accommodate these animals, hence leading to deforestation. A lot of water is also used for the animals. This may affect our world in the long run, especially in places with scarcity of water, such as Africa. However, plant-based meats hardly affect the environment in any way at all. This is why selling these would help us significantly. Now for my second argument. As the respected leader of the opposition has stated, many people enjoy the taste of meat and it is even a part of their culture. It is a very protein rich food and there are very few alternatives. Therefore, they are resistant to giving it up entirely. However, meat substitutes offer a familiar and convenient way to reduce meat intake without changing much. And it makes them feel good about themselves as they get the feeling that they are sacrificing something they enjoy. As a summary of argument 2, I have stated that I have stated that even though many people love meat, the substitutes are an even better alternative. Now for the third argument. What would truly happen in a world where meat alternatives start selling in the restaurants we visit every day? Well, the government side may argue that there would be no change to the amount of meat produced. However, haven't you already seen people working towards climate change? If the government were to tell the people that the plant based meat is a step to solving climate change, that might also start raising awareness on those. It may promote selling of meat alternatives as well. Since meat alternatives provide the same nutrition, taste the same, and look the same, people may eat those instead of normal meat, hence providing the same solution and giving an alternative as well. With this, I rest my case but never my stance. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to Diallo. Next up, I'd like to call to the floor GovWhip. Here.
Are clearly audible and visible?
Yes, but there's a bit of an echo. Please get your teammates to mute their devices. Yeah.
I would like to accept my POIs verbally. My speech will begin in 3, 2, 1. At the end of the day, the main burden of this motion is to prove which side better addresses the problem of reducing meat consumption and its associated harms to animals and the environment. The opposition has failed to meet this burden because they defend the continued consumption of meat without offering any realistic or escapable solution to mitigate its negative impacts. Our team, on the other hand, has shown promoting meat substitute is the most practical and effective way to reduce meat consumption. By providing accessible, sustainable, and ethical alternatives, we address the root of overconsumption while accommodating consumer behavior. I have identified two key clash points in this debate, which I will now address to settle this issue. There were two clashes in the debate. First, on the moral and healthy, the second on the traditions. Now I will begin my first clash point. The opposition might argue that meat consumption is morally acceptable or healthier, but this is not true because industrial meat production causes widespread animal suffering, environmental destruction, and health problems like heart disease and obesity. Meat structures offer cruelty-free, sustainable, and healthier alternatives. Even if meat has some health benefits, this is symmetric because substitute can replicate those nutrients while avoiding ethical and environmental harm caused by traditional meat consumptions. Our side is better because we offer the same nutritional benefits while addressing the harm caused by the meat industry. Their side is worse because it perpetuates animal cruelty, environmental damage, and public health crisis. To give a counterfactual, in our world, less animals will be killed, less carbon dioxide released in the air, and lowers the price for the meat. However, in their world, the demand for meat remains high, meaning more animals are raised and slaughters in inhumane conditions. The environment continues to suffer from deforestation and emissions, and people face the same health risks tied to the overconsumptions of meat. No meaningful process is made towards reducing these harms. Even if we grant their best case scenario, we outweigh them. Substitutes offer a practical way to reduce harm while maintaining health benefits, addressing the root problem they ignore. For these reasons, that is why we take the first clash. Now I will begin my second clash. The opposition might claim that meat is indispensable for protein and tradition, but this is not true because plant-based and cell-based meat substitutes are specifically designed to match the protein and nutritional content of traditional meat. Many cultural practices also evolve over time, meaning when alternatives are presented as convenient, tasty, and aligned with modern values like sustainability and health, adapting to new resources and values. History shows that dietary habits are flexible, not static. Even if meat currently holds a central place in diets and traditions, this is symmetric because substitutes can replicate the same culinary and cultural experiences. Our motion supports the normalizing these alternatives, ensuring that people can continue to enjoy familiar dishes and traditions in a way that aligns with modern ethical and environmental priorities. Our side is better because we address the growing global need for sustainable, cruelty-free options while preserving cultural practices by offering alternatives that look, taste, and function like a traditional meat. Their side is worse because it continues to rely on traditional meat productions, which comes at the cost of the environment, animal welfare, and long-term public health. Even if we give the opposition their best case scenario, that meat is important for protein and culture, we outweigh them because we provide a way to maintain these values without perpetuating the harms associated with traditional meat production. Their side ignores the need to adapt traditions to modern realities, leaving the harms unaddressed. For these two clash points, more than proud to propose 4 minutes and 11 seconds.
Thank you very much to GovWhip. Next up, I'd like to invite to the floor OpWhip. Here.
I would like to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Good morning to the House at large, respected judges, worthy opponents, and my fellow teammates. The motion for today is that this House, as an animal advocate, would aim to decrease meat consumption rather than increase the availability of closed meat substitutes. And today, my team and I firmly stand against the motion. Firstly, I would like to give my perspective on the issue. Plant-based meats are typically lower saturated fat and cholesterol free compared to normal meat. Many people don't understand that these meats can cause plant-based meats can lead to better heart health and reduce risks of chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and certain types of cancer. I would like to elaborate on what the deputy leader of opposition said. Climate change is a major issue in today's world, and climate change is caused by factories, as they need a lot of area for deforestation to build factories and also keep the animals. And they also use a lot of water, which gets ended up being wasted because animals need to drink water and also clean themselves. This can be easily avoided if we use plant-based meats. Moving on to the leader of opposition's point. If there were an increase of plant-based meat, the demand would be higher. This will lead to people being healthier, as I mentioned before. As I mentioned, that plant-based, yeah.
So you said that the demand for the plants based are
Could you please be
higher
clear? I
than
cannot
before,
understand you.
pardon?
I couldn't hear you properly, so I will not take the POI. I'll take the POI later. Um, yeah, like I've mentioned earlier, plant-based meats are cholesterol-free and have less fat content. Now, I will show you why we have won this debate and why our side of the world is better than theirs. In their world, animals are brutally slaughtered every day. Pigs, cows, chickens, sheep, etc. The panel, they fail to understand that animals, they also have brains and emotions and feelings like us humans. Panel, imagine how would you feel if you were an animal held in a cage with other animals like you, and the next thing you know, you're flying high in the sky in heaven. In our side of the world, there will be no animal slaughter and there will be less climate change. Now, I would like to move on to the rebuttals. You were supporting our case the entire time, which makes my job as the whip easier, and I have to rebuttal less. No, I'll be not taking it my protected time. Our speech was mainly about the alternatives. The whip said that the uh, the opposition has failed to explain why they have won the case. But we clearly talked the entire time about alternatives such as the factory and the climate change. You are not paying attention to our speeches. We are clearly promoting meat alternatives, and you're thinking that we are promoting decrease of selling of the price of meat. I don't think you understand what you're saying, and you must have got it mixed in your own words. You're only defending our case. Thank you so much. And with this, I would like to rest my case, but on my stance.
Thank you very much to Opposition Whip. Next up, I would like to invite to the floor Opposition Reply. Here.
Yeah, so 2 minute speech, right? And I won't be taking any POIs this round since it's the reply. So I'll start in 3, 2, 1, start. It is clear that panel, the government side has not been paying any attention to our speeches whatsoever. We are clearly promoting meat alternatives, and you think we want to prevent selling the meat. I don't think you understand what we are saying. You probably don't even understand the motion. You are only defending our case whatsoever. The motion put before us was that this House, as an animal advocate, would aim to decrease consumption of meat rather than increase the availability of meat substitutes. You have to talk about why we should increase the. You have to talk about why we should decrease the consumption of meat, and we should talk about why we should increase the availability of meat substitutes. This is why the government side has got the entire debate all wrong. Now, I would like to present our main arguments that we have already summarized. The meat production does a significant damage to the environment, and it also contributes to climate change. It contributes to water pollution, deforestation, and production of methane, which is a very harmful gas for the environment. Also, people enjoy the taste of meat and it is even a part of their culture. But meat substitutes are a much, much, much better option, and it is also a convenient way to reduce meat intake without changing much. Also, uh, also in a world without meat, in a world with meat alternatives, the restaurants you visit every day would start selling you meat alternatives. It would become much more popular than normal meat. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much to opposition reply. Last but not least, let us invite to the floor government reply. Here.
Okay, I'll start. Okay. Am I visible and audible, Judge?
Yes, you're both.
Am I visible and audible?
Yes, you're both.
Okay. My time starts in 3, 2, 1. At the end of the day, opposition loses the debate because they fail to prove why does the new meat substitute is bad and how does the new meat is worse than the original meat, which is almost the same and with the new one, it also has a better nutrient and reduced eating time. We win this debate because on the other hand, we have shown specific details about how will the meat look like, taste like, and what nutrients will be provided. Judge, the world's technology is drastically developing, and it is important to adapt to change. Also, they're arguing that substitutes are better, which contradicts with the opposition first speaker's argument. More than proud to propose. There are two key issues in this debate, and let me explain why we want both. The first issue was which side promotes a better diet for people. Opposition told us that normal meats are better than our new one. However, they are not providing layers of analysis that actually proves their statement. But they also told us that they can't aware awareness of climate change, but we can co-opt their benefit because it also happens on our side too, and it is even better because we don't kill cows and produce carbon dioxide. However, we told you that we are going to make an alternative, and they also contradict with each other's arguments because of the second speaker and the third speaker. This is why we take the first clash. Second issue was that which side. The second issue was which side protects the culture. The opposition told us that we are confused on the motion, but it is the opposite because we are decreasing the consumption of meat to increase the amount of substitutes, and they are contradicting their arguments and basically supporting us. However, we have told you that many cultures are based on meat, but substitutes become popular, cultures will also change by time. This is why we take the second clash. In conclusion, we believe that government wins the debate because of these reasons. Thank you.
All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much to both teams. That is the end of round 4, and later on there will be a closing ceremony. So please do come back on time to the main hall. Last note for all the debaters here. I'll answer your question after I make my announcement. Okay. Last note for all the debaters. After this round, after the closing ceremony, you can get feedback from me. I will prioritize whichever team that's breaking first. So, if both come and both are breaking, whoever comes first, I will reply first. But if one team is not breaking, one team is breaking, I'll prioritize the breaking team first. So yeah, if you need feedback, you can contact me on WhatsApp or Discord through my name, LEEWEI. You can search my name there. I think it works for both WhatsApp and Discord. Yeah, so that's all for round 4. Just now there was someone that raised their hands. Any questions?
Yeah, when will we get to know if we have made it to the semis or not?
Tonight. So whenever they announce what time the closing ceremony will be, I think they'll announce it in the group, but according to the current schedule, it should be around 8 o'clock. Is that clear? So it'll be 1 hours and 10 minutes from now. But yeah, wait for the further updates within the WhatsApp groups, WhatsApp participant groups. Okay, clear? All right. Okay, thank you guys so much. That was a wonderful
Thank
debate.
you.
You guys can cross for shake hands.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Everyone, bye.